I'm so excited to film this video that I even put on false lashes, which I like never do. But these Viseart palettes that I'm going to show you guys have been just the light of my life. You guys know I'm a makeup junkie to the nines, and I have been having the hardest time forcing myself to use some of the other new eyeshadows that I've had because I cannot pull myself away from these palettes. The quality is just outstanding. They for my particular eyes, they're dry. I mean, they're not like so dry that they're like chapped or anything, but I do have a drier eyelid, and no matter what primer I use, certain matte eyeshadows, they don't build, they don't blend, and it just turns into a patchy mess. And I got a lot of flack on my Lorac Pro 2 palette video. Some people had said, you just blobbed it on, and you know, you picked up too much product, you just need a little bit and stuff. Yeah, I did. I stuffed my brush in that and I picked up a lot of product and I put it on as I do any shadow, and considering the amount of product that I did pick up, that shadow should have traveled a long ways, and it didn't. It just plopped down literally, and it didn't budge, and I had to pick up more, and it didn't blend. Like literally, you should be able to make that eyeshadow work, and it shouldn't be so difficult either. And that's this Viseart matte eyeshadows especially. All the palettes are absolutely beautiful, but these Viseart mattes are like from the heavens, man. I'm just, ugh. The textures and the shadows themselves, they build on themselves, and they build on themselves, and they build some more. And the little bit you do use goes a long way, but it's still, you can diffuse it out. You can mix the colors in with each other to create different colors. It's the options for these palettes is just absolutely endless. I did do this look that's on my eyes right now, which that will be towards the end of the video. It'll give you guys a glimpse into how they actually perform. And again, I can't stress enough how easy they are to build and blend. These are the most effortless, beautiful matte eyeshadows I have ever used. I love my Tom Ford and I love my Charlotte Tilbury. They both have some nice matte palettes as well, but I'm gonna go so far as to say I love these matte shadows even more. And if I had to choose, you guys, I don't know if you've seen it or not, I did a collection video on my Too Faced and my Urban Decay. I'll link them down below if you are interested. But I would trade in all the eyeshadow palettes from both of those brands. If I had to choose, I would choose Viseart over all of the eyeshadow palettes from both those brands. I would choose Viseart if I had to, because they're that amazing. So enough of all this stuff. Let's just like roll into these palettes. I'm going to show them to you guys. I'm going to swatch them for you guys, and then if you want to hang tight towards the end of the video, there is a demo so you can see how they perform and they blend, and they're just like, they're heaven. And then real quick too, the cheapest place that I found them is alconco.com. I'll link their website down below. I think they're like a beauty supply store. They're $75. They have free shipping. I bought 5 of them off of that website. The last one, which is the Bridal palette, I had to order it off of Friends Beauty Supply. It was $80 on there plus shipping, and it took 2 weeks to get here. So they are in the middle of repackaging their palettes. So I know 2 of the palettes are out of stock on Alcone, and hopefully they're repackaging them to the new packaging. So that is where I got them. I'll show you the difference between the two types of packaging here. This is the newer packaging. It is a plastic. I think it feels like it doesn't feel super heavy duty plastic, but it doesn't feel like a super cheap plastic either. It's kind of in between. Granted, this packaging is a lot nicer than the older packaging. This here feels very, very cheap, and you know, for the price you'd think, what kind of packaging? Until you use the eyeshadows, of course, then you'll be like, I'll pay that money for those shadows any day. At least I will. I think that they're expensive, but you get a nice amount of product. It's averages out to be about 0.078 ounces of product per eyeshadow, which I think is a nice amount, but they're so worth the money. So this first palette I'm going to show you is palette number 3. This is what they call the Bridal palette, and this is the one that I got off Friends Beauty. I haven't used this one yet. I was going to use it for the demo today, but I kind of wanted you guys to really see how these mattes, just how amazing these mattes are. So this is what this one, the Bridal palette, looks like, and everything in here is got a shimmer to it, but it's not like obnoxious shimmer. Like all 6 of these palettes, when you mix them and match them and stuff like that, the the looks are crazy beautiful. But this one here is all shimmer, but again, they're not that obnoxious shimmer. Now this next palette is the 02 Pearl Bright palette. It is in the old style packaging as well. Everything in here is got a pearl finish. It is not obnoxious. It is a really, really beautiful pearl finish, and I adore this palette. I've been using this palette in conjunction with the neutral matte and the other matte. Playing with all of these palettes across the board is just, they create beautiful, beautiful looks. But this is the 02 Pearl Bright palette. This palette here is the 05 Sultry Muse palette. It's a pretty neutral palette. There are some finishes in here that are quite metallic, and then 4 of the shades do have some super, super finely milled micro glitter in it, like finely milled micro glitter that when I tap my brush off, I don't like get any of that glitter fall on my face, which is something that I usually have with shadows containing that micro glitter. And the glitters, I feel like they transfer as well, so they're really, really pretty. But there are no mattes in this palette either. And I'll get up close with the palettes and give you guys swatches here in just a minute. But this next one here is the Paris Nude palette 06, and this palette here is so beautiful. It's got some green tones, some burgundy tones, gray and purple tones to it, but this is like what I would call a wearable or a nude color palette. Like, it's like naked color. Like, the purples in there, they're so subdued that, I mean, there's color there, but it's not like you're wearing, it's not overbearing, it's not like too much color. If you're somebody who's afraid of color but would like to wear some, this would be for you. Like, the best way I can describe this palette is it's a nude color palette. There are some of those shades with the micro glitter in it as well, but not as many as the last one. These 2 shades right here contain that micro glitter. Otherwise, everything else, there's a few with slightly metallic, but nothing in the palettes, like when I say metallic or shimmery, nothing is obnoxiously metallic or obnoxiously shimmery, although I love both of those obnoxious type of finishes as well. These are a little bit more subdued than that, but this here is, it's a beautiful palette as well. Now this palette here, it is in the old packaging as well. This is the 04 palette. I can't remember what the name is. If I can find it, I'll list it right here. It's something like Color Matte or Dark Color Matte palette 04. This palette here is so versatile. In conjunction, if you're somebody who likes matte shadows, this one and the Nude matte palette, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. They really do. And the thing that is so amazing about this, like, there's a white in here, or even the lighter cream shades in the other palette I'm going to show you in a minute. You can customize these shadows. So these here shades appear pretty dark, but you can because these shadows they build so nicely, you can go in between, back and forth between a white and one of these other shadows or a lighter shadow, and they will create a lighter tone of that matte shadow, which is just absolutely beautiful, and it's so, so handy. And then this last palette, this is the #1 neutral matte palette. If you are a neutral matte lover, you need this in your life. I know a lot of people have said it was like the Sonia Kashuk one, and the tones and the colors are very, very, very similar. Let me grab it. So there they are next to each other. Very, very similar tones to each other, but the performance on these is way different. Again, like I said, I have troubles with mattes because of the way my eyelids are. Because there is a lot of blending involved, and I like to, you know, change my tones up and stuff like that. So I really put a shadow to the test, and, you know, the way that I do my eyeshadow, I really need it to blend. The Sonia Kashuk one is a nice cheaper version, but it's no comparison to this palette for me. So again, this palette here mixed with the other matte palette, there are endless combinations of beautiful, beautiful matte eyeshadow looks that you can create, especially with those lighter 2 shades from each palette, because you can totally customize the colors by dipping your brush into one of these brighter colors and the white or the cream or whatever to customize your color, and they mesh so, so well. So they're beautiful. I've just never found myself loving matte eyeshadow, and I think that's because I've always had such trouble with matte eyeshadows because they just don't blend nice on me. Like, when I used these, I was just like, oh my gosh. Where have you been all my life, was what I was thinking. So I'm going to ramble on my love and stuff for these if I don't stop now, and so I'm going to get into some swatches and stuff like that, and then we'll get into the demo. So here is the palette up close, the 03 Bridal palette. I'll give you guys some swatches. Even the textures of these, they're just amazing. There's not like, they're not overly powdery. They don't kick up too much, you know, stuff. They're just, there's the first row. Crazy. Do the second row. And then the very last row here. Even though these are light shades, watch, I bet they're going to show up even on my skin tone. Yeah, baby. Beautiful. This next palette is the 02, I believe it's the Pearl Brights palette. I'll swatch these. I love this palette. I love them all. Like, who am I kidding? Right there is the first row. In the second row. Oh, they're so beautiful. You guys are going to hear me saying that probably so much it's going to annoy you. And this last row here. This palette here is the Sultry Muse 05 palette. I should have went in order, right? Oh well. And this one here has got a little bit different textures in some of them, or finishes. This one, that one, and that one right there have got some super, super finely milled micro glitter in them. And when I tap my brush off, I don't get any fallout on the face with those. And usually with glitters, it's so finely milled though. Like, I packed this on the lid a couple times and I didn't get no fallout with those glitters, but they are there, so I want you guys to be aware of that. So let me swatch this here. They feel like heaven, you guys. This next row. Oh, and then the last row. Now this palette here is called the Paris Nude palette 06. Another one it's all pearly. This one does have those two type of shades with fine micro glitter as well. It's this one and that one that have those. So we'll swatch these. In the second row. And the last row. Those are all kind of fleshy tone, but this palette here is the 04 palette. I can't remember what it's called, like the colored matte or something like that, but it is the number 04 palette, and it is an all matte palette here. Some swatches for you guys. These are just amazing. This next row. Oh, aren't those beautiful? And then this last row. Ooh. Oh, They're so, so pretty. Now this last one here is the #1 palette. It is the Neutral Matte palette. It is love. Next row. And then the last row. I don't know how well, considering these are matte and kind of fleshy toned, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see those on my skin, but give it a shot. Ooh, you can kind of see them. There. So hopefully those swatches were helpful for you guys. Now if you're interested in seeing these bad boys perform, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. I'm going to take this Goss number 18 brush and I'm going to dip it into this matte white. This is from the colored matte palette here. I'm just going to dip that in there and I'm going to pack this all over the lid. And it is, yeah, it's a matte white here. This is one of the funnest things I've been doing. These shadows are so much fun to mix and match and play with. I really can't get over it. And then because I want kind of a pastel-y light green, and this green is just a little bit deeper. This is what I love about these. They build and they mesh and they blend and they're just, ugh. You guys will probably get a lot of that through this video. I'm going to pick up just a dab on the same brush of this green. Just a little bit of it. They're grading the road outside, so if you guys hear machinery and stuff like that, that's what it is. But just a dab of that green on this brush here, and I'm going to tap it through the center, and I'm going to blend it into that white. And I started out a little small, pick up a little bit more. And it's like a pastel green color. It's like, which are really hard to find. Like pastel light colors are really hard to find, good ones at least. And now I'm going to go into the Neutral Matte palette. I'm going to pick up this lightest shade. No, let's pick up this shade right here. The second to the lightest shade on a Goss number 17 brush. I'm just going to pick that up here and I'm going to put it underneath the brow bone. Because I want to do something colorful. This palette here, oh my god. But anyway, let's just blend this into underneath the brow here. Bringing it down. I'm going to pick up this lightest shade now, just a dab of it, and I'm going to put that just underneath the tip right here. Or the high point of my brow. Just blend it into there to give it a little bit more of a lift. Now let's do some fun colors. I feel like doing some fun colors. I'm going to go into this deep purple right here. This is from the Matte palette on a Goss number 4 brush. And I'm going to load that up on the very tip of the brush and then tap it off. And I'm going to go ahead and put that into my crease. Pick up a bit more. So we have something that looks like that. I want to keep it in the mattes for crease and higher because I really want you guys to see how nice these blend. And there isn't a mid-tone purple in this palette right here, so I'm going to pick up the little bit lighter purple here and I'm going to dip it back and forth from the white to the purple to create my own mid-tone purple, which another thing that I just love about this palette. And then too, there isn't a dot of fallout on my face either, and these are mattes. So tap off my brush and I'm going to go ahead and blend out that other purple here. It's just amazing. That's really all I needed to do to get that done. And I'm using the same brush as well, the Goss No. 4 brush. Now I'm going to go back into the matte neutral palette. I'm going to pick up, a bit of these two shades. I'm going to mix them together right here on the same brush, the same Goss No. 4 brush. Dip them back and forth here. And I'm going to go ahead and blend out that purple further here. Hopefully you guys can really get a taste of the blending of these. It just blows my mind. And that's really kind of it. And it's just so simple. Now I'm going to go in with my Clinique quick liner for lips in Sky Violet. And I'm just going to go ahead and line these. And now I have one of the new Maybelline Color Sensational lipsticks in the matte version. And this one is 665 Lust for Blush, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my lips with this. Which so far the formula on these it's pretty nice. If you were curious. So there is the overall finished look using some of my Viseart palettes. I think that they are worth every penny. It is just, it's a love thing we got going on here. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later.